An insurance agent in Dallas closed $11,000 more in monthly premium last quarter than the agent across the street. Same carrier appointments, same territory, same prospects. The difference? One of them is winging their discovery calls. The other one is using a framework that uncovers coverage gaps the client didn't even know they had. And when you find gaps people didn't know existed, they don't price shop, they buy. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact discovery call framework top producers use to find real coverage gaps, close bigger policies, and eliminate the "let me think about it" objection. And I'll give you the complete system for free. Let's get into it. I just analyzed call recordings from 37 insurance agents across 12 states. Half of them were running what I call the quote and hope discovery call. They ask a few basic questions, pull a quote, email it over, and pray the prospect calls back. The other half? They were using a structured framework that systematically finds gaps in coverage the prospect doesn't even realize they have. Here's the difference in results. The quote and hope agents, average close rate, 14%. Average policy value, $1,800 annual premium. The framework agents, close rate, 41%. Average policy value, $3,200. Same prospects, same carriers, same markets. Before I give you the framework, because it absolutely works, I need to show you why most discovery calls fail. Because if you don't fix the root problem, no script is going to save you. Here's what the mistake looks like. A prospect calls in. The agent asks, "What kind of coverage are you looking for?" The prospect says, "I just need auto insurance," or "I need a homeowner's quote." The agent quotes exactly what was asked for, sends it over, never hears back. Why? Because you answered a question instead of solving a problem. The prospect doesn't know what they actually need. That's your job to uncover. The framework has 4 phases. I call it the SPIN-G method: situation, problem, impact, need, and gap. Phase 1, situation. This is where most agents stop. But for you, this is just the starting line. You're mapping their full picture, not just the policy they called about. Here's what you ask. Walk me through what your current coverage looks like across the board. Home, auto, umbrella, life, all of it. Then, when was the last time someone actually reviewed all of this together? 90% of the time, the answer is never, or years ago. That answer alone opens every door you need. A real example. An agent in Ohio asked this question. The prospect called for an auto quote, but during the situation phase, the agent discovered the prospect had a home policy with a different carrier, no umbrella, and life insurance from 15 years ago that hadn't been updated since they had kids. One auto quote turned into a 4-policy household, $4,700 in annual premium. That never happens if you just quote the auto and send it. Phase 2, problem questions. This is where you find the gaps. You're not telling them they have gaps. You're asking questions that make them realize it. If something happened to your home tomorrow, a fire, a pipe burst, do you know exactly what your policy covers and what it doesn't? Most people say, "I think so," or "probably." Then you go deeper. Do you know if you have replacement cost or actual cash value on your dwelling? Silence. They don't know. Now phase 3, impact. This is where the gap becomes real. So if your home burned down and you have actual cash value instead of replacement cost, you could be looking at a $60,000 to $80,000 gap between what insurance pays and what it actually costs to rebuild. That comes out of your pocket. You didn't sell anything, you educated them, and now they're concerned, because they should be. An agent in Georgia used exactly this approach. The prospect came in for a renter's insurance quote, a $200 policy. During the problem and impact phases, the agent uncovered that the prospect had no life insurance, was the sole income earner for a family of 4, and was driving with state minimum liability. That $200 renter's quote became a $2,100 package, and the client thanked her for it. The Chapter 4 frameworks in the free guide break down every question to ask, word for word, for 6 different client types: homeowners, renters, young families, retirees, small business owners, and high net worth clients. I reverse engineered the calls from agents closing above 35% consistently. Link is pinned in the comments below. Scroll down and grab it while I keep going. Phase 4. Need. Now you help them articulate what they actually want. So, knowing all this, what's most important to you? Making sure your family is protected if something happens? Making sure you can actually rebuild your home? Or making sure a lawsuit doesn't wipe out everything you've built? Let them answer. Whatever they say becomes your closing argument later. Phase 5. The gap reveal. This is where you bring it all together. You pull up their current coverage. You show them. Visually, if possible, here's what you have, here's what you told me matters to you, and here's the gap between those two things. You told me protecting your family is the priority. Right now, if something happens to you, your family gets 0 from life insurance and has $200,000 in mortgage debt. That's the gap. You're not pushing a product. You're showing them a problem they just told you they want solved. The agents using this framework don't hear, "Let me think about it." They hear, "What do I need to do to fix this?" The CRM automation in Chapter 3 of the guide shows you how to document every gap you find and trigger follow-up sequences for prospects who don't close on the first call. One agent recovered $17,000 in annual premium from leads she thought were dead, just by following up on the gaps she'd already identified. That's all in the free guide. Links pinned in the comments. So here's how to put this into practice starting this week. Step 1. Stop quoting what people ask for. Start every call with situation mapping. Get the full picture before you quote anything. This alone will double your average policy size. Step 2. Build your gap question bank. You need 5 to 7 problem questions for each coverage type. The guide gives you all of them, but start with homeowners and auto. Those are where the biggest gaps hide. Step 3. Practice the impact bridge. This is the skill that separates 14% closers from 40% closers. You have to connect the gap to a real dollar amount or a real consequence. You're underinsured by $60,000 hits different than you might want more coverage. Step 4. Use a CRM to track every gap you uncover. Not every prospect closes on call 1, but if you've documented their gaps and you follow up in 30, 60, 90 days, you will close them. The automation does the work for you. The agents writing 40+ policies a month aren't better salespeople. They're better at finding problems the client didn't know they had. I put together everything I just covered, plus a lot more, in a free guide. It's called The Insurance Agent's Lead Generation System. Chapter 1 breaks down the 3 types of insurance prospects and what triggers them to buy. Chapter 2 gives you the complete discovery call framework. Every question, every phase, word for word. Chapter 3 is the CRM automation that follows up on uncovered gaps. Said it once, runs forever. Chapter 4 has the ad frameworks to get these prospects on the phone in the first place. Chapter 5 shows you how to track your close rate, average policy value, and actual ROI, so you know exactly what's working. The link is pinned right in the comments below. Scroll down, click it, completely free. Now I want to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge on discovery calls right now? Getting people to open up? Finding the right questions? Closing after you've found the gaps? Drop it in the comments. I read every one and I'll give you specific advice for your situation. If this helped, subscribe. I post new insurance marketing strategies every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Go grab the free guide. Links pinned in the comments. Just scroll down and click it. I'll see you in the next one.